So good morning, welcome back at IC classes. Today we are going to discuss about the application of accounting standards, which have already been started a few lectures back. So be ready for the next session of this accounting standards. So send your presence. We'd like to see how many are present. Very good. Very good. Good, 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 good. Send your presence beta fast. Very good. Very good. See how many are there. Starting from Mitesh Bhai. Many students have already sent their presents. Fast, all must have to send it. Yes, yes, yes. Very good, very good. Khushi, Pratha, Anuradha, Manoj Kumar, Sankaran, Tribhuvan, everyone. Very good. Send their presents. Very good, very good. Shabash. So where we were earlier? First, what we have already done? Speed up. क्या कर लिया था हम लोगों ने लास्ट? कौन सा एएस चल रहा था? AS20. So having any doubt in AS20? Expecting you have already covered this AS. So tell me if there is any doubt, beta. Fast. किसी भी तरह का कोई डाउट है तो बताओ. Very good. Priyanka, Anuradha, AS26 intangible asset has also been done. Exactly. So any doubt in those AS, whatever we have covered. Otherwise, we have to go for the AS22. Yes. Send your problems. कोई भी problem है तो बेटा बताओ एक बार. Because we have done various uh, questions also for these years. So I think there is no issue at all because it has been practiced in a good manner. So if you have any doubt, just send it fast, beta, waiting for your doubts. Otherwise, going to start with the next AS22. I already given you a homework to read AS22 before coming for today's lecture. I expect everyone has read it. किस किसने पढ़ा है? AS22 कौन कौन पढ़ के आया आज? Who has read this AS22? Very good, Vedika. So Vedika has read it. Only one student has sent me that she have read it. Where are remaining? Priyanka have also read it. Very good. So what about the remaining beta? Fast beta देखते हैं कौन कौन पढ़ के आया आज, फटाफट भेजो अपना कि किस किसने पढ़ा है. Note done. Studied. Good. Manoj Kumar has also read it. Very good. So if you have studied this AS, I think this will become very easy for you today. Obviously, those who haven't read it, it is purely new. They must have to devote more concentration to this AS. Students, I already mentioned you that if you will come with the one-time study of that particular AS, it will be comparatively very easy. I have started the first revision of topic covered so far by you. Will post my queries in next class. Okay, but the queries are to be posted till now. That will be a better option because we can't delay it. That is not in my control. And second thing is, obviously, whenever you're doing a professional course, let it be very much clear, you should be also a professional person. Students who are professional and the teachers who are professional must go with the time. If you are not going with the time, it is all the negative part. It will be covered or assumed as a negative part in your studies. So beta, देखो ऐसा रहता है कि मतलब पर्सनल टीचिंग नहीं चल रही, ये ध्यान रखो. हम लोग टॉपिक बाय टॉपिक प्रॉब्लम्स ले रहे हैं और कोशिश ये करनी चाहिए कि हमें अपने टॉपिक को साथ के साथ कवर करना चाहिए. तो जिन्होंने अभी तक अपने टॉपिक्स को कवर नहीं किया वो गलत हो जाता है काम. So try to cover your topic simultaneously. Okay, beta. Good. Mitesh Bhai Patel has also read it. Very good. So starting with the accounting for taxes on income, what it meant for beta. Whenever we are talking about this particular AS is very important because this is a part of our corporate balance sheets. Whenever you are going to prepare any balance sheet of any company, this will have an impact. This is not a normal AS. If we'll see, this AS has an impact on the balance sheet, which is the most important thing, on the profit or loss account. That is the financial statements which we are preparing, not during the year. It doesn't have any impact during the year. This is what basically he says. It will go for the accounting treatment or whatever the taxes on income and follows the concept of matching expenses with the revenue. So that is the matching concept principle which is already known to you when you have started your studies of accounting. In that we already know बेटा कि जो matching concept होता है उसमें हम लोग ये कहते हैं कि हमारे जो expenses हैं वो जो respective revenue है उसके साथ match होने चाहिए. पीरियोडिसिटी कंसेप्ट भी इसका बेस माना जा सकता है कि एक पर्टिकुलर पीरियड के रेवेन्यू को हम डालते हैं अकाउंटिंग में, तो जिस पीरियड के रेवेन्यू को डाला हुआ है उसी पीरियड के हमने एक्सपेंसेस, पीरियड नहीं कहा जाएगा बल्कि उस रेवेन्यू को अर्न करने के लिए जो हमने एक्सपेंसेस इनकर किए वो हम लोग उसी पीरियड में डालेंगे जिस पीरियड में हम उस रेवेन्यू को डालेंगे. सो दैट इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. So this is the accounting principle also. Taxable income may be significantly different from the accounting income. ये क्या point है? What it is basically, whenever we are talking about our income taxable according to Income Tax Act, you all people know that whenever you are preparing income tax return, you have to make adjustments in your profit. What are those adjustments? Means whatever profit is given to you, you have to adjust that, you have to change that, you have to make adjustments in that. What are those adjustments? Just send me. What are those adjustments? Fast beta. Sharon, we may take your doubt later on today itself. There's no problem, but it will be after the class, after the preferably this AS. Okay. You may have to remind me after this AS. So send me what are the adjustments which we are doing while going for income tax. जब हम income tax के लिए जाते हैं तो उसमें क्या क्या adjustments हम लोग करते हैं. मैं आपको एक याद दिलाना चाहता हूँ कि जो हम लोगों ने इनकम टैक्स पे नहीं किया, जो हमारा इनकम टैक्स पेंडिंग है, हम उसका एक्सपेंस क्लेम नहीं कर सकते. ऐसे कई एक्सपेंसेस हम डिसअलाउड हो जाते हैं, कई इनकम्स हमारी डिसअलाउड होती हैं. तो कौन से एक्सपेंसेस डिसअलाउड होते हैं? या वेरी गुड, मनोज कुमार हैज सेंड, वेदिका हैज सेंड, वेरी गुड, शाबाश. And you have sent rightly. This is a good thing. So it means for you remember this. You are understanding the concept fast. Remaining must have to send it. Beta fast, fast. Patapat bhejo. Shabash. Waiting for your answers. तो जल्दी जल्दी भेजना है, टाइम नहीं लगाना. वेरी गुड, शाबाश. मौसम खुल चुका है नॉर्थ इंडिया में भी. अगर हम देखें तो मौसम काफी इजी और अच्छा हो चुका है. तो इसलिए अर्ली मॉर्निंग उठने की आदत डालो और लाइव क्लासेस लेनी चाहिए ताकि आप लोगों को बेनिफिट हो. So I would like to suggest you to go for the live classes. Don't be delayed. Okay. Good, good, Sankaran. It's really good to listen and good to read. I would like to good to read even. Very good, Sankaran. So Honey also given a right answer. Anuradha, very good. Abdul, very good. Vedika, very good. Sharon, very good. Manoj Kumar, good, good. So it means for there are many expenses which are going to be disallowed, which are, and that is due to the reason out of that, the most important expense is depreciation. We all know that depreciation is to be calculated as per income tax in a different way, and as per accounting in a different way. So if as per income tax, our depreciation comes 5,25,000, and as per accounting, our income tax, our depreciation comes as 6,82,000. So difference of rupees 1,37,000 will change our profit, will affect our profit. If we will assume that our income tax rate is tax on corporate, because we are talking about corporates only, is 20%, just assume, then it is going to affect us with 27,400. So difference in profit, difference in tax, sorry. So difference in tax will be 27,400 बेटा. 27,400 रुपए का आपका टैक्स में डिफरेंस आने वाला है. If your tax is otherwise 20 lakh, this will change your tax with 19 lakh 72,600. So as per income tax, tax will be different. As per accounting, tax will be different, but we will have to go for this one. As we all know, that tax will be calculated as per the Income Tax Act. So in case of companies, obviously accounting system is different because their depreciation is charged as per SLM, straight line method. But in case of this particular income tax, we are going for the WDV method that also impacts us. And many more expenses are there. Personal expenses are even not allowed in accounting. Honey says personal. So Honey, let it be very much clear, even personal expenses are not entered in accounting. Yes, many other expenses are written by students. Payment to capital expenses are even not allowed in accounting. But there are some expenses like if you will talk about LTCG, STCG on sale of assets. So if there is any profit which has been entered in accounting as a sale of asset profit, so then it is to be adjusted because those are required to be adjusted. Obviously you have done it in detail in your income tax. So beta मैं उसके बारे में ज्यादा बात नहीं कर रहा, इसीलिए just giving you a hint. Okay, so talking about this, कि taxable income may be significantly different from the accounting income that we are talking about. This is all knows, which will create a problem in matching taxes against revenue for a period, because it always make a difference. So if any even if you will remember that if income tax is not paid within the time schedule, it is delayed, then it is also not allowed. It will be, now these expenses are to be adjusted in the next period. So there are many expenses which are timing differences and which are permanent differences. So if any expense, if this difference, whatever the difference we are talking about in taxable and accounting income is of temporary nature, then it is treated in a different way. If it is of permanent nature, then it will be treated in a different way, beta. Okay. So see here it is mentioned specifically. If it is a timing difference, so if it is timing difference for a period that originates in one period and are capable for reversal in one or more next periods, that means for what, एक बार एक पीरियड में तो ये हमारा टाइमिंग डिफरेंस के हिसाब से कौन से डिफरेंसेस होते हैं जो इस बार क्रिएट हुआ और नेक्स्ट टाइम रिवर्स हो जाएगा, परमानेंट नहीं है, मींस it reduces our profit by rupees 2 lakh in 21-22, but increases our profit by rupees 2 lakh in 22-23. Means it will be reversed in this year and entered in the next year. It will be disallowed in this year and allowed in the next year. So this type of differences are named as timing difference. But some are of permanent nature for a period that originate in one period and do not reverse subsequently. Like if any tax is not paid in due date, then that is fully disallowed and it is not allowed to be entered in the next year even. So that is going to create a permanent difference. तो उसमें permanent difference आ जाता है जिसका मतलब रिवर्सल नहीं होना. एक तो हुआ ना कि एक्सपेंस इस साल में आपने रिवर्स कर दिया, नेक्स्ट ईयर में उसको अलाउ कर देंगे, और एक हो गया जिसका आपको अलाउड ही नहीं है, दोबारा आपने डालना ही नहीं है बुक्स में. So दो तरह के डिफरेंस रहते हैं. There are two types of differences. Okay, is that clear? Now read this. What is accounting income? Everyone knows it. That means for net profit or loss for a period as reported in the statement of profit or loss from before deducting income tax expense. That is NP, or the profit before tax, PBT. And net profit or loss for a period as reported in the statement of profit or loss before deducting income tax or adding income tax savings. Means if there is any saving, it is not added. If it is a payment, it is not deducted. Profit before tax. What is taxable income? Taxable income means for amount of income or the loss for a period determined in accordance with the tax laws. That is as per Income Tax Act. That is already discussed. Tax expense, whatever the total tax, whatever is the total tax, whether it is current tax or deferred tax. Now, what is the current tax? What is the deferred tax? We will discuss. In simple words, I would like to explain it in advance that will be a better option because current tax to be paid in current year. Deferred tax to be carried forward in next year. It may be in plus or minus. Plus or minus means it may be deferred tax receivable, it may be deferred tax payable. It may be anything. Means we may have a point that current tax is 1 crore and total tax is 1 crore 20 lakhs. 120 lakhs. But in the current year, we have to pay only 1 crore. That is 100 lakhs. 20 lakh is carried forward. That is called deferred tax. Carried forward to next year. Not to be paid in this year. To be paid in the next year. And it may be this also. The total tax is 90 lakhs. Current year you have to current tax, what we are saying that is to be paid in this year is 100 lakhs. So 10 lakh is to be given as a benefit in the next year. Benefit to be reaped in the next year. So this benefit will come to us in the next year. So this is called deferred tax saving. This is deferred tax payment, what I am talking about. And this is deferred tax saving beta. Or we can also show it as deferred tax liability. Now this is deferred tax asset. And this is deferred tax liability. That is payable in the next years. And this is receivable in the next year. Anything which is receivable, any amount which is saved to us and to be benefited in the next year, which will become our asset. So these are called deferred tax liabilities and deferred tax assets. Deferred का मतलब ये होता है कैरी फॉरवर्ड कर लेना, आगे ले जाना. There is too cold in this area, but even then, students are coming and studying in North India also. So that is good. So what is the temperature today in your areas? It is cold or it is normal? Yes. Current tax is clear and deferred tax is clear. Tax effect of timing difference. Okay. So recognition. Read this. How to recognize it? That he has already mentioned. Tax expense for the period comprising current tax and deferred tax should be included in the determination of net profit or loss for the period. So whatever is the tax expense, that is total tax expense, either it is current or deferred. So that is specifically mentioned. Either it is current or deferred. It will all be tax expense for the period to be recognized. Recognition का मतलब क्या होता है? What means for recognition? That means for to be entered in the books of accounts. So tax expense for the period is to be recognized. Either it is current or deferred, should be included in the determination of profit or loss account. Permanent difference do not result in deferred tax asset or liabilities because these are not going to be reversed in the next year. So these are not to be treated like this. These are not to be carried forward in the next year. But those which are of timing difference which will be going to reverse in the next year will be treated as our deferred tax asset and deferred tax liability. So taxes on income are considered to be an expense incurred by an enterprise in earning income. What it means for? He says whatever the permanent difference, you will not have to carry it forward in the next year. So what you will do? You will have to treat it as an expense in the year in which it has been incurred. So by the enterprise in earning income and are accrued in the same period as the revenue and expenses to which they relate. So to whatsoever, whomsoever revenue or expense they are incurred, they have to be matched with that. Tax effect of timing difference are included in the tax expense in the statement of profit or loss account, and deferred expenses, deferred assets and liabilities are to be shown in the balance sheet. Three-degree in Priyanka area. Abdul, 10 degrees. Sharon, cold, sir. Very good. So it's too cold. In all over the India, I would like to say, except maybe in some Hyderabad or like these areas of Maharashtra, where temperature may be less, otherwise it is too cold in all over India. Very good. While recognizing the tax effect of timing difference, we should have to consideration of prudence concept should be ignored. That is, do not anticipate losses and provide for probable gains, provide for probable losses and do not anticipate gain concept will be ignored. Therefore, deferred tax assets are recognized and carried forward only to the extent that this is reasonably certain. So very simple and sober adjustments are there. Then we have to reassess it at the end of every year, at the end of every balance sheet. एक बार आप लोगों ने देखा कि हमारा जो डेफर्ड टैक्स एसेट है वो इतना है, डेफर्ड टैक्स लायबिलिटी हमारी इतनी है. अब नेक्स्ट ईयर के एंड में आपको उसे रीवैल्यूएट करना है. ये हर साल के एंड में करना है जब बैलेंस शीट बनानी है. This all treatment will be done only while preparing financial statements, not during the year. So that is given. Read it once. An enterprise reassess unrecognized deferred assets. Okay. Recognize previously unrecognized deferred tax asset to the extent they become reasonably certain, as the case may be, that sufficient future taxable income will be available against with such deferred tax asset could be realized. So this is all about a simple thing. If there is any chance of occurrence of these deferred tax assets, then it is to be entered. If there is any chance of reversal of the, you will have to do it. This all will be evaluated every year, at the end of every year. Okay. The practical aspect of this AS will be covered in CA final. So how to measure it? That is all known to every student, that like this is current tax. That is the way how it is measured. That is calculated as per Income Tax Act. And whatever is the difference, that will go to deferred tax. So measurement of current tax, amount expected to be paid or recovered from the taxation authorities, means to whomsoever income tax is payable to them, that is called current tax. And whatever is the measured using the tax rates and tax laws that have been enacted by the balance sheet date. Should not be discounted to their present value. It should not be shown at net profit value, net present value. It will be shown at its original value, and it will be carried forward in the balance sheet. That's very simple. Measurement concept is normally known to every student. That is on the basis of, as per the provisions, whatever is given in there. So, review of deferred tax asset. The carrying amount of deferred tax asset should be reviewed at each balance sheet date. Any such written down may be reversed to the extent that it becomes reasonably certain or virtually certain, so that sufficient future taxable income will be available. An enterprise should written down the carrying amount of a deferred tax asset to the extent that is no longer required, so that sufficient taxable income will be available against which deferred tax asset could be realized. Meaning is very simple, ki whatever the amount is there, we'll have to do it. We have to, whenever it becomes virtually certain, it is to be done. So ये एक जनरल ट्रीटमेंट रहता है. अब इसकी प्रैक्टिकल एस्पेक्ट्स जो है वो हम लोग कर सकते हैं, ऐसी बात नहीं है, बट उसके लिए प्रॉब्लम क्या रहेगा, आर्टिकलशिप ट्रेनिंग में जब आप जाते हो ना, व्हेन यू विल गो फॉर ट्रेनिंग, उसमें कॉर्पोरेट में अगर कोई आपको केस स्टडी देता है तभी आप कर सकते हो. ये काफी एडवांस केस स्टडीज रहती हैं. इन अवर दिस particular class, we'll have to go for only theoretical part of this AS. Nothing practical is there. Very simple and logical things are there. Just review it once. I would like to suggest you to review it once and ask from me if there is any query from your side. तभी मैंने कहा था एक बार पढ़ के आते तो मजा बड़ा आता. If you have already read it, then it will be very good. So an enterprise should offset. Offset का मतलब क्या होता है? That means for adjusted. An enterprise should adjust assets and liabilities representing current tax if the enterprise has a legally enforceable right to set off the recognized amount. Means we are saying that our deferred tax assets are worth rupees 20 lakhs, and we have deferred tax liability also, that is 15 lakh in our books of accounts. So could these be entered as net or not? That he is asking. So these will be entered as deferred tax asset 5 lakh. Could it be entered or not? That is the way. Presentation style he is asking. So this can be done only and only if the enterprise has a legally enforceable right to set off the recognized amount. Legally enforceable means if it is allowed as per the, we can say that yes, in our return, income tax refund of 1920 is pending, worth rupees 20 lakhs. Now we have to file a return of 2122, where tax liability is 50 lakhs. This is tax liability which I have to pay. Whether this 20 lakh can be adjusted in there or not, whether we have to pay 30 lakh as a net payment or we have to pay 50 lakh in full. Just send me the answer. First, send me the answer. but it cannot be registered. Let it be very much clear. Refund cannot be registered with the tax payment. This is not allowed. Yes, what is adjusted? What is allowed to be adjusted? Let it be very much clear. If we have paid any advance tax, then it is adjusted against tax payment. But income tax refund cannot be adjusted with the tax payment of next year's. Income tax refund of 1 year cannot be adjusted with tax payment of other years. It is to be get back by me. It will be a receivable amount. So it will be my asset. It will be a payable amount. So it will be my liability. Income Tax Act, you have done it. Due to that reason, you may give the right answer, but even then you are giving wrong answer. Many students have given wrong answer. Many have given correct also, very good. So let it be very much clear. If it can be registered according to Income Tax Act, according to the government law, then it will be allowed to be adjusted. Otherwise, we'll have to show, in that case, we can show net. Otherwise, we cannot show it as a net. We'll have to show assets and liabilities separately. उनको हम separately show करेंगे. Means this liability of 20 lakh, this asset of 20 lakh will be shown separately. And this liability of 50 lakh will be shown separately. These will not be registered with each other. This will be assumed as a deferred tax liability. This will be assumed as a deferred tax asset. Also, one more thing, these can be adjusted only and only if they are under same governing law. Means if it is under Income Tax Act only then it can be adjusted. No? If it is one is under Income Tax, second is under GST, then it cannot be allowed to be adjusted. Obviously, we know it very well. Transition provision. On the first occasion, read it, it's very important. On the first occasion that the taxes on income are accounted for in accordance with this statement, the enterprise should recognize the financial statement, the deferred tax balance that has been accumulated prior to the adoption of this statement as deferred tax asset liability with a corresponding credit or charge to revenue reserve, subject to the consideration of prudence in case of deferred tax assets. What it meant for? What he says, if this AS was not applicable earlier, when this AS was not applicable earlier, before its applicability, if there was something, and as on the date when this AS has come into the picture, what is transition provision? When something is converted from one to other, like when the AS22 was not there and when the AS22 comes into the applicability. So whenever AS22 becomes applicable on anyone, how to go for the transitional provision before and after. That is called transitional provision. How to treat the deferred tax assets and liabilities in your books of accounts at the first instance. सबसे पहले हम लोग अपनी किताबों में एसेट और लाइबिलिटी को कैसे लेकर आएंगे, डेफर्ड टैक्स एसेट और लाइबिलिटी को, पुरानी एसेट लाइबिलिटी. अब इसमें वो कह रहा है कि पहले तो हम लोग ऐसा करते ही नहीं थे. जब AS22 नहीं था, मान लो जब AS22 मेरे पे एप्लीकेबल नहीं है, अभी गवर्नमेंट कह देगी AS22 जी आपके कॉर्पोरेट्स के अलावा जो स्मॉल कंपनी एसएमसीज हैं उन पे भी एप्लीकेबल है, इंडिविजुअल पे भी एप्लीकेबल है, पार्टनरशिप पे भी एप्लीकेबल है. ऐसा कुछ कह दे, अभी नहीं है, अभी ऐसा कुछ नहीं, अभी इट इज एप्लीकेबल ऑन कॉर्पोरेट्स ओनली. तो गवर्नमेंट कभी ऐसा कह देती है. ऐसा ही गवर्नमेंट ने पहले कहा था जब कंपनीज पे अप्लाई किया था. तो कंपनीज में भी कई तरह की कंपनीज है, कभी किसी कंपनी पे अप्लाई किया, कभी किसी पे अप्लाई किया. तो जब ये अप्लाई किया जाता है तो उस टाइम पे आपने देखना है कि आज की डेट में मेरा कोई डेफर्ड टैक्स एसेट तो नहीं बनता. जो टैक्स मैं पहले पे कर चुका हूं बट उसमें से मुझे कुछ कैरी फॉरवर्ड करना चाहिए एज पर AS 22 प्रोविजन बिफोर द एप्लीकेबिलिटी ऑफ दिस AS। उससे पहले मेरा जो बनता था, जो मैंने पे किया हुआ है, तो उसमें से मुझे कोई डेफर्ड टैक्स एसेट को बुक्स में लेके आना है। तो कैसे लेके आया जाएगा? तो वो ये बताना चाहता है कि उसके लिए आप रेवेन्यू रिजर्व्स को यूज करोगे। सो यू हैव टू डेबिट रेवेन्यू रिजर्व टू क्रिएट अ डेफर्ड टैक्स लायबिलिटी, and you have to reverse revenue reserve to, that is, deferred tax asset debit to revenue reserve. What is revenue reserve? So as per the case, entry will be made. If it is to be entered in the books of accounts now, then it will be entered in this way. Either we have to debit revenue reserve and credit deferred tax liability, or we have to do revenue reserve debit, deferred tax asset debit to revenue reserve. Means हमें as per the case किताबों में लेके आना है उसको, जैसे भी वो हमारी रिक्वायरमेंट होगी। The amounts so credited or debited to the revenue reserve should be the same as that which would have been resulted if this statement have been in effect from the beginning. So we'll have to assume that this has been done from the beginning, not from this year. So previous adjustment will be made accordingly. What is revenue reserve? Give some examples of revenue reserve or give the meaning of revenue reserve. Fast भेजो मुझे, revenue reserve क्या होता है बेटा? Fast भेजो आंसर, फटाफट फटाफट, fast fast fast. What is revenue reserve बेटा? Fast बेटा, बड़ा टाइम लगा रहे हो आप लोग तो। शाबाश। Beta, profit and loss account is a revenue reserve, right? General reserve is a revenue reserve, right? But CRR is not a revenue reserve. In simple words, a student has given the answer, which is right. The profit which is available for distribution as dividend. But CRR is not a revenue reserve. Capital redemption reserve. That is not allowed to be distributed as a dividend. So you have to rectify yourself, beta, because you have given the correct definition but wrong example. NP of last year is an example. Exactly. Abdul, this is not a right way of describing this revenue reserve, because preliminary expenses and distribution profit may be adjusted from anywhere. The right way is the profit which is available for distribution as dividend is named as revenue reserve. DRR is also not a revenue reserve, debenture redemption reserve. Remaining have given correct answers. Very good, shabash. This is a check on your working, that even you know the right definition, but you are giving wrong examples. That means for you have to improve yourself. Yeah, Priyanka, this is not a revenue reserve. I'm not interested to take your name, because whenever any student is saying anything wrong, I'm not giving the name. I'm just giving the right answer. But now I have to give because you are sending it again. It means for you have not understood, so I am referring to you, beta. Remaining is just a disclosure, and disclosure will be in this case by way of amount. So here it is mentioned under AS 22, there is no specific requirement to disclose current tax and deferred tax in the statement of profit or loss. No specific requirement to disclose current tax and deferred tax in the statement of profit or loss. Considering the requirement under the Companies Act, the amount of income tax and other taxes on profit should be disclosed. So AS2 is not going to give any requirement. This is basically Companies Act, which tells us to disclose the proper amount of current tax, deferred tax, all that. AS20 doesn't require any reconciliation between profit, accounting profit and the tax expense. Even this reconciliation is required in your corporate accounting, in your corporate taxation. So in your company's balance sheet. So that is given in Corporate Companies Act 2013. So you have to go according to the provisions of Companies Act 2013 for that. When we are talking about in presentation in balance sheet, so breakup of deferred tax asset and deferred tax liability into major component of the respective balances should be disclosed in the notes to accounts. So we have to just disclose it in the notes to account. That is a detail. Otherwise, deferred tax and deferred tax liabilities are to be shown in balance sheet. There is no problem. It will be shown. But if there is any breakup of that, that is to be disclosed in notes to accounts. Deferred tax assets and liability should be disclosed under a separate heading in the balance sheet, separately from current tax and current liability. Nature of the evidence supporting the recognition should be disclosed if an enterprise has unabsorbed depreciation or carry forward of losses under taxation law. So we know it very well that we are going to treat it in our books of account. And if we are going to treat it, we should have to give the reason of that also, that why this deferred tax asset and liability is entered in the books of accounts. So that is to be given in detail. That is to be disclosed beneath the balance sheet. Obviously, disclosure में हम लोग उसको दे देंगे, nothing else. Abdul Beta, basically what happened, I'm not going to discuss about the practical aspects of this AS because this is covered under Companies Act 2013 and that is available for your study in your CA final. So this is just a overview of this AS which is required in this class. Nothing else is required. No problem, Priyanka. Very good. I'm here to clear your doubts and confusion. You need not to worry, beta. She says I'm a bit confused, so there's no worry, beta. I'm here to clear your doubts. So this is all my privilege. Mani Agarwal, please deferred concept explain again. Deferred means carry forward. So here I have taken an example, beta. That if your total taxation is 120 lakhs, you have calculated it. It is total taxes 120 lakhs according to our tax payments. You have to pay tax of rupees 120 lakhs. But out of that, 100 lakh can be accounted for in this year. Why? Because Income Tax Act doesn't allow it. So due to that reason, we have checked and recalculated it. It is 100 lakh. So remaining 20 lakh will be allowed to be adjusted in the next year. So it will be carried forward in the next year because that will come to the picture in the next year, not in the current year. Like I have earned profit of rupees 200 lakhs, 240 lakhs. According to accounting system, according to my accounting books, I have earned a profit of 240 lakhs. Now, taxation is 50%, just as you. Accordingly, my total tax is 120 lakhs. But when I have gone for the Income Tax Act, why we have to reverse many expenses. So when we have to reverse many incomes. So I have reversed my income. Due to that reason, my profit has reduced to 200 lakhs. Earlier it was 240 lakhs. Now the profit is reduced to 200 lakhs. Due to that reason, 50% of it, that is current tax, 100 lakh is to be paid in the current year. Remaining 20 lakh is not to be paid in the current year. It will be paid in the next year. Why? Because that income which is reversed in this year will be again payable. Tax is payable on that in the next year. So due to that reason, this is very much simple that this total payment of rupees 120 lakh is payable. But due to the reason of Income Tax Act, we have to calculate profit again. And due to that reason, our profit comes 40 lakh less. And 50% of that, 20 lakh income tax will be payable in the next year, not in the current year. आपने कैलकुलेट किया 240 लाख रुपए आपका 240 lakhs प्रॉफिट आ रहा है अब उस पर 50% टैक्स है, 120 लाख बनता है, ये अकाउंटिंग के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से। और जब हमने इनकम टैक्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखा तो वहां पर 100 लाख बन रहा है इस साल। 20 लाख ऑब्वियसली हमें नेक्स्ट ईयर पे करना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज वो टाइमिंग डिफरेंस की वजह से है। तो जो 20 लाख नेक्स्ट ईयर में पे करना पड़ेगा उसे हम डेफर्ड टैक्स लाइबिलिटी के रूप में बुक्स में रख लेंगे। और इसका रिवर्स हो जाता है जब हम लोग डेफर्ड टैक्स एसेट की बात करते हैं, कि हमारा अकाउंटिंग के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से तो प्रॉफिट जो है वो 90 लाख बनता है, बट जब हम लोगों ने इनकम टैक्स एक्ट के हिसाब से देखा तो प्रॉफिट बनता है आपका 100 लाख। क्यों? क्योंकि हमें कोई ऐसी एक्सपेंस को डिसअलो कर दिया कि जो एक्सपेंस हमारा नेक्स्ट ईयर में अलाउड हो जाएगा। तो एक्सपेंस डिसअलाउड होने से क्या हुआ कि हमारा जो प्रॉफिट है वो बढ़ गया और हमें टैक्स ज्यादा देना पड़ रहा है, बट वो टैक्स हमें नेक्स्ट ईयर में मिल जाएगा वापसी। तो वो डेफर्ड टैक्स एसेट हो जाएगा, बिकॉज हमने टैक्स ज्यादा पे किया हुआ वो हमें वापस मिलने वाला है। तो 10 लाख रुपीज हमें नेक्स्ट ईयर में वापस मिलने वाला है। अभी हमने 100 लाख डिपॉजिट तो करवा दिया, बट उसमें 10 लाख रुपीज हमने एक्स्ट्रा पे किया है, जिस एक्सपेंस की वजह से पे किया है। वो एक्सपेंस इस साल डिसअलाउड हुआ है, नेक्स्ट ईयर में वो दोबारा री अलाउड हो जाएगा। सो दिस नो वरी बेटा। ओके, आई थिंक दिस इज ऑल क्लियर टू एवरी स्टूडेंट। Yes, tell me, is this yes clear or not? Having any doubt in this yes? Yes or no? And if there is any doubt, just send it to me fast. फटाफट भेजो बेटा, क्या क्या डाउट्स रह गए हैं आपके। अगर यस क्लियर हो गया तो बताओ, एक बार निगाह मार लो इसको, एक बार चेक कर लो ऊपर से नीचे तक, कुछ भी डाउट है तो पूछ लो बेटा फास्ट, देन विल गो फॉरवर्ड। First of all, check it out. If there is any doubt in this yes, just ask from me, send me the query. Otherwise, I'll go for the next yes. Fast beta. Now time is all yours. Check it out and send it to me. MAT is not covered in this syllabus, so don't worry about MAT. Maybe that word has not come in this AS even. That is a part of CA final. Permanent difference will explain again. Okay, no problem. Vedika asked for the permanent difference. We have discussed that there may be some timing and some permanent differences. Let's talk about that. So read it first and then I'll come to the point. Read it first. Okay, Shivlani, okay, no problem. I'll see now. Actually, MAT word comes in this. I know it very well, but this is not explained because that is too vast. So just read this example. This example tells us very clearly that if we have paid any fine or penalty on our income tax, then we know it all. even in GST, if we have paid any fine or penalty, then that penalty or that fine is not allowed as an expense. But in accounting, that we are allowing it. In accounting, we are allowing it. But in income tax calculation, that is not allowed to be entered as an expense. Due to that reason, my profit is 200 lakhs according to accounting, according to my profit or loss account. Now, when we are going to pay tax, we have to readjust our profit. So I have checked that there's a fine or penalty of rupees 10 lakh, which has already been deducted out of it. So I have to add it back. Now my profit is 210 lakhs. Assume tax is at the rate of 20%. So it means for tax should be 40 lakhs as per accounting system. But here I have to pay 20% of 210 lakhs. That is, we have to pay 42 lakhs. Okay. So this 2 lakh will not be assumed as a timing difference because this 10 lakh will not be allowed to be entered as an expense in the next year even. It is reversed in this year, but in income tax, it is not going to be allowed in next year even. In income tax, what happened? If in income tax, it will be reversed in the next year, then it will be assumed as a timing difference. Otherwise, it will be assumed as a permanent difference. So this 2 lakh excess payment is made by me. Obviously, I have to pay current tax of 42 lakhs, out of which 2 lakh will be assumed as a permanent difference. Let's talk about illustration number 2, which will help us to understand each and everything. Go for illustration number 2, beta. This is clear now? Okay. Here you have read the word MAT. From the following details of A Limited for the year ended 31st March 2011, calculate the deferred tax asset or liability as per AS2 and the amount of tax to be debited to profit or loss account for the year. So accounting profit is given to you. Book profit as per MAT is given to you. This is purely in company's balance sheet. So maybe you have done it or not. I doesn't know because this is not in your syllabus. MAT calculation. MAT calculation is just like a different type of calculation, like we are doing in Income Tax Act. We are reversing many things. We are adding many things. You know? Even in partnership, we have to reverse many things. We have to add many things. We are calculating book profit in partnership. In companies, we are calculating profit as per MAT, book profit as per MAT. So that helps us to calculate the amount of remuneration to be paid to the managerial persons. As we all know that 11 up to 11% of profit is up to 11% is allowed to the managerial persons as a remuneration. So that 11% is calculated on the basis of this MAT calculation. So MAT calculation is done for that also. Now, these are all different things. So this is not normal. This is just a simple case. We have to treat it as a simple case because otherwise it will become typical. Let's understand this. This is a case study made for you because otherwise we are unable to make it. Due to that reason, I am not taking the example. It will confuse you to some extent, but you need not to worry. Just try to understand it. If it is understood, it is very good. Otherwise, leave it. So accounting profit is 6 lakh. Now he says profit is tax is 20% on it. That means for this is a total tax, which is as per accounting system. As per Income Tax Act, profit is 60,000 only, and the rate will always be same for both of the accounting income and income tax income. So it will be only 12,000, which is to be paid in current year. So this is current tax. Then as per MAT also we have to check calculation in case of corporates. As per MAT, we have to pay 7.5% of the book profit as per MAT. So we have calculated it. It is 26,250. So first you have to calculate in a simple way that total 1,20,000 is there. Total 1,20,000 tax is there. This is called total tax. Okay. Out of that, this is to be paid in the current year. So this is current tax. Remaining is called deferred tax. So the difference of rupees 1,08,000 will be assumed as a deferred tax beta. I think this is clear to everyone. There's no worry about that. Then, in case of MAT, some minor adjustment is there. Please see it. Now, how much tax is to be debited to profit or loss account? That is the important thing. In profit or loss account, we have to pay 1,20,000 in total. 12,000 in this year, 1,08,000 in the next year because that is deferred. Plus, we have to pay how much? We have to pay excess of tax as per MAT over tax as per Income Tax Act. So that is a separate provision which you have to study in Companies Act 2013 in the CA final classes. So here, as per MAT, tax as per MAT is 26,250, and as per Income Tax Act, it is 12,000. So whatever is the excess, that will also be debited in profit or loss account. So 14,250 will be paid in addition to that. This is even paid in this year. We have to pay this also, 14,250. So accordingly, we have to show it 1,34,250. But why it is and how it is, that is not a calculation I have discussed, but I can't discuss more than that because that is not a part of our syllabus in this year. Even this is not a part of our syllabus because we will not get any case study of excess of MAT, etc. If it will come into your exam, it will be just a wastage of time, nothing else. Because if we doesn't know the concept, how that question will come into your exam, that is very bad. I think this is clear to everyone. Having any doubt, just tell me. Those who have done it, read illustration number 3. Those who have done it, read illustration number 3. Fast. Illustration number 3 देखो एक बार. Is that clear? Check it out. Illustration number 3. Having any doubt in illustration number 3, just tell me. Why we cannot do it in this way, sir? 26th on 250, 12th on. So please, why we cannot do in this way, sir? 26, 250, 12th on. Basically, these are the provisions which are applicable here, beta. And these provisions we have not studied yet. Who doesn't know about the provision? Due to that reason, I have already mentioned you. If you doesn't understood this, because this is just a memorization, this is not a understanding which you will get in this year, this particular illustration number 2, because math you doesn't know. I would like to tell you in simple words, whatever is the excess of MAT over, if there is any, means whatever is excess, you have to pay that. Actually, whenever you have to pay corporate tax, income tax in corporate accounting, then you have to do one thing. We have to calculate the profit as per MAT also. So whatever is higher, that we have to pay as per MAT or as per Income Tax Act. So we have calculated that as per MAT it is 26, as per income tax it is 12. So we have to pay higher. So we have paid 26. But simultaneously, this 14th which we have paid excess is not allowed to be adjusted in the future years. So that is just a one part of the picture. And the second part of the picture is calculation of current tax and deferred tax. For that purpose, you have to do one thing. Whatever is the total tax, that is 1,20,000, you have to deduct out of that whatever is the tax as per Income Tax Act, that is 12,000. So the difference of rupees 1,08,000 will be carried forward in the next year, because that is required to be paid in the next year. So it means for whatever 14,000 is paid excessive in this year, that adjustment is not allowed in future years, because that is due to the reason of MAT. Now this can't be discussed in detail. Reason is there because I have already discussed many things, but even then I'm saying it, you need not to worry, because this is all not coming into your exam normally. If it will come into your exam, it will be like this illustration, and that is comparatively very easy to understand. If you will just give a minor pressure on your mind, you will understand it. That is not allowed, Sharon. Okay. So whatever is allowed, that I have given to you. If amount is greater in income tax, like if the amount is 40,000 in income tax, and in MAT it is, if as per income tax comes to us rupees 30,000, as per MAT it is 26,250, then there is no impact of MAT on our question. Total tax expense is 1,20,000. In that case, what you have to do, beta? Current, then deferred tax will be 90,000. Tax to be paid in current year will be 30,000. That is higher of these two. Okay. In profit or loss account, we have to enter 1,20,000. That's it. Now read illustration number 3. Having any doubt in illustration number 3, just tell me. So note it down and then go for illustration number 3. पहले इसको पढ़ लो, कोई डाउट है तो पूछ लो, नहीं तो illustration number 3 में चलते हैं फिर. Just send me if there is any doubt, beta, fast. Very good. Shabash. Is that clear? ये अब क्लियर हो गया आपको? नोट कर लिया आप लोगों ने? कोई डाउट है तो बोलो. Send me the doubt if there is any. It is adding to your knowledge, like you have done in your nursery. You doesn't know about ABC, just like that you doesn't know about this particular concept in this class, but you are understanding it. So it is obviously something new, and it should be interesting, but it takes time. How 20,000 came for current year loss? Okay, third. Very good. PQR Limited accounting year ends on 31st of March. The company made a loss of 2 lakh for the year. For the year 31st March 2022 and 2012 and 13, it made profit of 1 lakh and 1 lakh 20,000. Okay. It is assumed that a loss of a year can be carried forward for 8 years and the tax rate is 40%. So if tax rate is 40% beta, this is very much clear. 40% of it, that is 80,000, can be carried forward to the next years. Okay. Now he says it is assumed that a loss now by the end of 2011, the company feels that there will be sufficient taxable income in the future years against which carry forward losses can be set off. There is no difference between taxable and accounting income except that the carry forward loss is allowed in the year ending. Means there is no technical aspect in this chapter, in this part basically. So in the next year, we will be allowed to adjust 40,000 because this is 40% of 1 lakh. And in the next year, it will be allowed to be adjusted 1 lakh 20,000 into 40%, that is 48,000. But we have to adjust maximum. So 8,000 is payable in the 13. So that is a simple thing. See, here it is what he has done. So this is all about 2 lakh is the loss. Out of that, 40,000 will be the deferred tax, because current tax is a tax effect of timing difference originated during the year, that is 80,000. In the next years, we will get the benefit of 40,000 and 40,000. And this 8,000 will be paid. That's it, because 20% is to be calculated of it. 40%, sorry, 40% is calculated for this. That I have already shown you. So this is the 2 lakh loss on which 40% is there, 80,000 rupees. So this is to be carried forward, this tax benefit, this deferred tax asset. This is deferred tax asset which will be carried forward in the next year, because this will give us the benefit in the next years. And obviously 40,000 will be the deferred, this will be the loss which is to be adjusted out of it. This is a tax payment, sorry. This is a tax payment which is to be made in the next year on this 1 lakh. So that is to be adjusted out of this 80,000. And the amount of rupees 1 lakh 20,000 is there. This is again a profit for us. This profit will be liable to pay tax of rupees 48,000, out of which a 40,000 will be adjusted from the 2011 profits. So 8,000 will be paid as a tax in the current year. So I think this is clear to everyone. So this is just a calculation profit after tax, because after adjusting all that, whatever is left, that is shown here. Nothing else is here. For 20,000 current tax. Okay, this is 20,000. Very good. This is not to be done in this way. This is to be done in this way. Actually, our loss is 2 lakh, which is to be carried forward in the next year. So out of this 2 lakh, 1 lakh will be adjusted in the next year. So there will be nil profit. Hence, there will be no taxation in the next year. Don't write it. Out of this 1 lakh 20,000, 1 lakh is already adjusted. 1 lakh will be adjusted in the next year, because this is a loss which will be given as a benefit to the next years. So 20,000 will be the remaining, on which tax will be paid at the rate of 40%. So only 8,000 tax will be paid in the next year. Is that clear? Now 20,000 is clear? Mr. Sharan? Sharan, is that clear now? So let's have a break, and then we will come back for the purpose of next AS. Sir, we would like to go for a break. So now we have to go for next AS. AS 24, discontinuing operation, the last AS of this particular application of accounting standards syllabus. Started with a very good enthusiasm by the students. I think that energy is already maintained yet, because when we have started it, yeah, Sharon says 11, 12, and 12, 13 timing difference I didn't get. Okay, beta. 11, 12, and 12, 13 timing difference. I'm already mentioning you need not to worry about this thing. वैसे तो ये भी हो सकता है, ऐसी कोई दिक्कत नहीं. आप ना एक तरफ से चलो. You must have to go by one way. Don't go by two ways. Either you have to adjust taxes or you have to go for adjustment of losses. You will do one thing. Okay. Meaning is similar for those two, but you have to understand it by one concept. Earlier you was asking from me how this 20,000 has come. So I have answered you that this 20,000 is calculated by him in a different way. But if you are not interested to get it, you leave that. You may just calculate that on this rupees 2 lakh loss. 40% is the tax, that is 80,000. On this 1 lakh, the tax is 40,000. Okay, on this 1 lakh 20,000, tax is 48,000. Out of which we know it very well that 80,000 is the total deferred tax which is available with us. So this deferred tax will be adjusted 40,000 in the next year and 40,000 in the next year out of this 48,000. So the remaining 8,000 will be paid by you as a current tax. That is shown here. This 40,000 adjustment is shown here. Okay, this is carried forward and this is adjusted. This is also adjusted. Now, way of presentation is somehow different, but you have to see it and do it. So this means for 1,20,000 is your profit after tax. Here, after adjustment of 40,000 in the balance sheet that is shown. This is basically or in the, you may say, corporate accounting what we are doing. But even then, if it is clear, very good. If this is not clear even now, then you may leave this. There's no worry. Do illustration number 4 also better. If there is any doubt, I would like to take that also. All the students must do illustration number 4 also. First, read it and do it. I think you all are doing all the illustrations, whatever is given in your module or not. You should have to do it because all the illustrations will help you to understand the concept. So must do it. So they are working on different projects which are likely to be completed within 3 years period. Recognize the profit from this contract on percentage of completion method of the financial statements during 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 11 lakh, 16 lakh and 21 lakh respectively. However, for income tax purpose, it has adopted the completed contract method. So method is different. So revenue is different. Income tax rate is 35%. You have to calculate the deferred tax asset and liability. So that is very simple. Here it is very much clear that this timing difference will not be of permanent nature because this will be adjusted in this year or next year. Because at the end of the day, everything will be similar. So here calculated the revenue. As per accounting system, revenue is given hereby. As per taxation system, revenue is given hereby. So both the incomes are given to you. So whatever is the timing difference that has been resulted, that in the accounting, you have shown up income of rupees 11 lakh. On that 7 lakh will be the taxable, whereas we have shown in taxable income rupees 7 lakh. So 4 lakh is the excess income which has been showed in this year. So this 4 lakh will be the amount on which tax will be calculated in this year, but not paid in this year. So it will be a deferred tax liability, which is to be paid in the next years, because tax is to be paid as per taxable income. But this means for total tax. This means for current tax. Because on this current tax will be calculated, on this total tax will be calculated. So total tax on 11 lakh is how much? Get it? 35% of 11 lakh. So that is get 35% of 11 lakh. How much it is? So they have calculated deferred tax. No. The word is written wrongly. They must have to multiply it with 35% to get it, no? Because this is not, yeah, here you have done correctly. So you have made net of it. Okay, he have made net of it 11 minus 7. We can do it like this also. 11 lakh into 35% and 7 lakh into 35% and get the difference. Or you may do like this also. 11 minus 7, that is 4 lakh, is the timing difference. That is a excess of income. Now on this income you have to pay. You will not have to pay tax. That will kept as a reserve by you. So this is 1,40,000. That is 35% of 4 lakh. So this is 1,40,000 beta. So this will be a deferred tax liability because we have to pay tax on 7 lakh only, because this is a taxable income, whereas total income is 11 lakh. So tax becomes due on 11 lakh at the rate of 35%, but we have not to pay it. We know it, this will be paid in future. So this will be carried forward in future for making adjustments. So in future, our income is 16 lakh, that is less than 18 lakh. So 2 lakh is the lower income, side income. So on that 2,70,000 will be adjusted. That is 35% of that will be adjusted in the next year. And this again 2 lakh is the difference. So obviously here also you have to make adjustment of 70,000. That's it. This is a way of presentation, nothing else. You have to memorize it. You have to understand it. It is required. If you're interested to go into depth, then you may do it like this also. 35% of 11 lakh. That is 0.1. Two lakh 45,000. So 1,40,000. This is a total tax. And this is the current tax beta to be paid in this year. So this is a deferred tax liability which will be carried forward to next year. एक्चुअली क्या है कि हम लोगों ने टैक्स कैलकुलेट किया अकाउंटिंग के हिसाब से, हमारा टैक्स तो बनना चाहिए 3,85,000, बट इस ईयर में हम लोगों ने क्योंकि इनकम कम रिकॉग्नाइज करी है इनकम टैक्स के एक्ट के बेस पर, बिकॉज वो इनकम टैक्स एक्ट नहीं लो कर पा रहा, बिकॉज वहां पर मेथड ही डिफरेंट है। तो 2,45,000 हमें टैक्स पे करना है। तो बैलेंस जो टैक्स है वो हमने पे तो करना है, वो फ्यूचर में पे करना है, इसीलिए डेफर्ड टैक्स लाइबिलिटी बन जाती है। तो 1-2 में क्या होगा? in 1 to 35% of this is again total tax 16 and 18. Current tax I think I made right calculations, remaining you may see. So this is here, we have to pay this one in the current year. This is to be paid. This is to be paid. So we have paid 6,30,000 in this year. But actually it becomes 5,60,000, which is to be the actual expense. So this 70,000 which have been paid excess will also be adjusted out of this. So 1,40,000 is the liability appearing in your balance sheet, deferred tax liability, which will also be carried forward in the next year. Deferred tax liability 1,40,000. Out of that, we will deduct deferred tax asset, you may say 70,000, because this is to be adjusted out of it, not named as a deferred tax asset. Just I'm giving you the understanding. So 70,000 will be carried forward as a deferred tax liability for next year again. This is carried forward. This is again carried forward. This is brought forward. So this is the way how you have to present it in balance sheet. And this is the way how you have to present it in profit. In profit and loss account, we have to enter this one only. That is 2,45,000. Here 6,30,000 beta. In the next year, it will be again 35% off. That is 2, 3, 21 lakhs. This is the total tax. 35% of 23 lakhs. This is the current tax beta. And again, 70,000 will be resulted. So this 70,000 which has been brought forward in the next year, this will be used to write off this 70,000. And in balance sheet, it will become 0. And this will be paid in this year. So I think this is clear, Sharon. Having any doubt, just tell me, or is there any doubt to anyone? 23 lakh is given to you, beta. This is given in the question, beta. Here it is given 7 lakh, 18 lakh, and 23 lakh. All that is given to you, beta. This is a profit which is as per Income Tax Act in the third year. Any doubt now? Anyone else having any doubt in this AS? Coming to the next AS, study AS 24. Start reading AS 24. Who to start that? I think this is all clear, because Sharon is not giving the answer. It means for maybe it is not yet clear to him. No doubts. Very good. But Sharon, is there any doubt to you yet? Very good. So this is AS 24. So before starting this AS, I would like to get feedback of all of you regarding the previous AS. Is that AS is clear to everyone? Just tell me. Is that AS 22 is clear to everyone? बेटा फटाफट भेजो अपना फीडबैक. समय लगा नहीं लगा, अच्छा लगा नहीं लगा, बताओ. No, it is not possible, Abdul, because we have to go as per the syllabus also. But if time will be there, I would like to go for some extra questions of accounting standards in the upcoming lectures, because this all depends upon the coverage of syllabus. Because I have 4 more lectures with me after this lecture, and in those lectures I have to go for some chapters. Do we carry forward timing difference also, sir? Exactly, timing difference will be carried forward, permanent difference. that is required to be carried forward. There's no problem at all. So this is to be carried forward so that it can be adjusted in the next years. So it is to be carried forward, beta. हनी अग्रवाल, इलस्ट्रेशन नंबर 1 बेटा. ओके सर, वैसे तो क्लियर है लेकिन क्वेश्चन देख के लग रहा है रटना पड़ेगा, पढ़ना पड़ेगा. हाँ, पढ़ना तो पड़ेगा बेटा. वी हैव वन लेक्चर अवेलेबल फॉर एएस. वी हैव वन लेक्चर. No, today is the last lecture beta for AS. From the next, we have to go for chapters. According to my knowledge, today is the Thursday, no? So obviously, AS 22 is clear. You made it simple to understand. Anuradha, thank you. But remaining, Sharon, okay, good, very good. Okay. इलस्ट्रेशन नंबर 1 पूछी है एक बच्चे ने, तो मैं सोच रहा हूँ ये भी कर ही दें क्योंकि यही रह गई थी एक. इलस्ट्रेशन नंबर 1, चलो ये भी देख लेते हैं. कोई हमारा स्टूडेंट उदास परेशान नहीं होना चाहिए कि रह गया. Rama Limited has provided the following information. Depreciation as per accounting records is 2 lakh. Depreciation as per income tax records 5 lakh. Unamortized preliminary expenses as per tax records is 30,000. There is adequate evidence of future profit sufficiency. How much deferred tax asset or liability should be recognized as transitional adjustment? Tax rate is 50%. Okay. So we have to calculate first of all how much is the difference between the profit, because as per accounting it is 2 lakh, whereas as per income tax it is 5 lakh. That means for our depreciation is different, but profit is not given here. If profit is not given, we will assume that if depreciation will be reversed, or overcharged, then how much will be the impact on profit? That will be very much clear to us. Okay, like if depreciation is here 2 lakh, then obviously profit will be reduced by 2 lakh. If depreciation is 5 lakh, then profit will be reduced with 5 lakh. If preliminary expenses are to be written off with rupees 30,000 or not to be written off, obviously it have a profit, it have an effect on your profit by rupees 30,000. Its impact is 30,000, and the impact of this difference is 3 lakh on your profit. We all know. So due to timing difference, here 3 lakh will be the change in the profit. Due to this change in profit, obviously your tax will also change. Now, what is actual position? Whether your accounting income is less or taxation income is less. See, here it is. Here depreciation is 2 lakh as per accounting. So profit will be on higher side in accounting. Profit in accounting is on higher side, is higher, because as per income tax it is 5 lakh. So profit in taxation is on lower side. So that means for here deferred tax liability will be there. Why? Well, liability will arise when the amount is not paid in current year, but it is to be paid in future years. Then it is called liability. If any amount is payable in future, that is our liability. If any amount is recoverable in future, that is our asset. So here 3 lakh is the decrease in profit due to the reason of income tax. And obviously due to that reason, 50% of that, 1,50,000 will be the decrease in taxation due to that reason. So tax will decrease. But we know it very well, this tax will be paid in the next year, because at the end of the day, the asset will be written off in full. If depreciation will be charged less in this year, obviously its life will be increased due to that reason. And depreciation will be charged in future years. Like if depreciation of rupees on an asset of rupees 1 lakh, if depreciation of rupees 10,000 is charged, it means for it will be charged for 10 years. But if depreciation of rupees 20,000 will be charged, obviously in that case, it will be charged for 5 years, because asset will come to an end. At the end of the day, we have to write off this 1 lakh. That's it. Either by way of 10,000 or by way of 20,000. But if we write it off with rupees 10,000 in accounting, if we write it off with rupees 10,000, then what will happen? Our profit will be on higher side. Hence, tax will be higher. In income tax, if we will charge it with rupees 20,000 in income tax, then profit will be on lower side. Profit will be lower. Profit will be lower and tax will also be lower. But in the first 5 years, tax will be on the lower side. Because after 5 years, what will happen? This 20,000 will become zero. Because from 6th year onward, no tax will be charged. No depreciation will be charged on this asset. So 6 to 10 years, we will be able to recover that excess payment of rupees tax. So due to that reason, here we have not paid that tax. Even then, this will be assumed as a deferred tax liability because it is payable in future years. So this will be arranged as a liability. But here, current tax will be lower. So from 6 to 10 years, it will become deferred tax asset, which will be adjusted out of this liability. So this is that type of treatment. Somehow it is technical. I know it very well. I'm trying to let you understand. So 1,50,000 will be the deferred tax liability. In this other way, unamortized preliminary expenses as per tax record is 30,000. So due to that reason, this unamortized means this is not to be written off. So due to that reason, your profit will increase as per income tax records. So if profit will increase, obviously tax will also increase. So current tax will be more than the total tax. Due to that reason, deferred tax asset will arise, not the deferred tax liability, because we have paid more tax by rupees 15,000. That's it. Why not we carry forward in this example, sir? We are just calculating it. It is to be carried forward. This amount of rupees 1,50,000 and 15,000 is to be carried forward. Net by rupees 1,35,000. So we have to carry forward net 1,35,000 in this question also. रट कर करना पड़ेगा शिवलानी, सही बात है, थोड़ा सा याद तो करना पड़ेगा इसे, यस को कर लेना भाई. चलो, रीड AS24. I think you are right. AS24 discontinuing operations. Okay. So एनर्जी तो काफी लग गई हमारी. Do one thing now. No, 3 lakh minus 30,000 will not be carried forward. Only the tax impact will be carried forward. That is just a calculation, beta. Income is not to be carried forward. Tax is to be carried forward. तो इसका टैक्स निकाल के कैरी फॉरवर्ड कर लेना. 270 आएगा डिफरेंस. 270 का 50% कर लेना. चलो AS24 पढ़ लो फटाफट, फिर इसको करते हैं. रीड AS24. रीड इट फास्ट बेटा. गो थ्रू हो जाओ फटाफट ताकि हम लोग इसको अच्छी तरह कर पाए. Yeah, Abdul, you're right. We have one more lecture for accounting standards. So better we will go for extra questions in our next AS, next lecture, so that we can practice more and more about all the AS. So in our next AS, we will go for the doubt clearing session for all the AS. Simultaneously, we would like to go for the, you may say, extra questions as per the availability of time. So I would like to go for that. I would like to suggest you may all do one thing. Read all the AS, do all the illustration, whatever is given. We will have a bumper session in our next class. So I think you will all get the benefit in this class, upcoming class. So thanks to Abdul, who has reminded me, because I assume that next lecture will this will be the last lecture, but one more lecture is available, so there's no worry. There's no problem. We may go for ESOPs in one lecture because that is very easy to be done. That is exactly right, because I suggested them and they have done it. So let's start with the discontinuing operation. What means to the discontinue? Discontinue means band kar dena. Discontinue means closed. Operations means for a particular operation, not the complete business. So going concern assumption is there that whenever we are expecting that the business is going to be switched off, it is to be shown in the books of accounts accordingly. All the assets and liabilities are to be shown at the market value, and the proper disclosure is to be given. All adjustments are to be made. But what will happen if you are going to close or switch off only just one part of your business? In that case, whether going concern assumption will be applied on that or not, and which type of disclosures are required in that case, because in that case he's not going to switch off the complete business. He is going to switch off only and only a part of your business. So if you are going to switch off only a part of your business, how the presentation will be there? That will be covered in AS 24. This AS is not going to cover the concept of switching off the complete business, because whenever we are talking about switching of the complete business, that is a going concern assumption, that is some different part of the working. Here we are talking about if you are going to switch off only a particular operation of your business, how it will be reported in your books of accounts, how it will be presented in your books of accounts. That is the main part of this AS. Let's study this wording. Objective is to establish principle for reporting information about the discontinued operation. So we have to do this for the purpose of making the financial statements more useful to the users of the accounts. Basically, financial statements are prepared for the users of accounts. So due to that reason, to let them understand this in a better way, we have to give some better presentation, give some more appropriate presentation, so that they can make a good projection for the future of the business, for the cash flows, earning generating capacity, and the financial position, by segregating information of discontinuing from the continuing operations. So he says that whenever we are going to discontinue a part of our business, it is to be shown separately that this is going to be switched off. And whatever is to be continued, that is to be shown separately. Means continuing operations and discontinuing operations are to be shown separately. But what will happen in case I am saying this thing, that I am running a departmental store. I'm running a departmental store. And in that departmental store, I'm going to switch off. I'm earlier dealing in maximum type of products. Now I'm interested to switch off shoes department in that. I'm interested to close my shoes department. Is it covered under discontinuing operation? Yes or no? Is it covered under discontinuing operation? Yes or no? First, yes, I'll take extra questions in the next AS, Anuradha. Everyone must note in the next AS, in the next lecture, I will go for extra questions, I will go for extra practice. I'll go for a bumper session. And I think you people can also get advantage if you will review all the AS, bring your queries in those AS, and we would like to discuss each and everything. But I would like to suggest you, if you have doubt in any AS, then better you will have to read it once in detail from this particular detail given to you. See, here it is. We have two types of information given to us, two types of presentation given by the ICA. One is this type of quick revision, that is glance we can say, and second is this detailed AS are given to you. So if you are interested to bring doubts, then you should have to first of all read your doubts, clear your doubts from this detailed AS information given to you. If it is not clear, only then bring it to me. Because if you will bring in this way, that raw information is not useful. So it is better if you will read all this. So let's understand the definition of discontinuing operation. For that, I have asked a query from you, and the students have only few students have given the answer. It means for remaining are not present in the class or they are not interested to give the answer, which is very bad. बड़ा बुरा लगता है जब बच्चे आंसर नहीं देते. अगर आप बैठे हो तो यस या नो लिखने में भी दिक्कत है तो बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाएगा. यस या नो लिखने के लिए मैंने कहा था, मेरी क्वेरी थी, डिपार्टमेंटल स्टोर अपने शूज डिपार्टमेंट को बंद कर रहा है, क्लोज कर रहा है. एक छोटा सा डिपार्टमेंटल स्टोर है, वो अपने शूज डिपार्टमेंट को बंद कर रहा है, तो क्या उसको डिसकंटिन्यू ऑपरेशन माना जाएगा कि नहीं माना जाएगा? आप लोगों को इंग्लिश समझ नहीं लगती इसलिए आप आंसर नहीं देते, कि आपको आंसर देना अच्छा नहीं लगता इसलिए आंसर नहीं देते? So app is not working from Geo network. Many students unable to send queries. Okay, which is very bad. It may be better if students may go for the SSP portal beta. Those students who are seeing on YouTube, they may go for SSP portal also. If they have ID and password with them, they may open their SSP portal, and from there they can send the queries as well as they can also see the videos. There's no problem. So both things are available in that. No, it will be a better option. I would like to suggest you. So let's come to the point. Very good. So here I would like to tell you one thing. This AS is not applicable on the general businesses. This is applicable on those where where AS17 is applicable, because this is correlated with AS17 segment reporting. I already discussed with you that AS17 is applicable for companies at a larger level. So better to change the network, Shivlani. If Geo network is not giving you the advantage, then you should have to leave that network and go to Airtel, because shifting of mobile number from one to other company is just a part of a routine process, and it will be converted within 1 or 2 days. Because if it is working on Airtel, then you should have to go for Airtel. It doesn't make any problem, because there are only two companies which are nowadays time working properly, Geo and Airtel. So it will be better to shift to Airtel if you are not able to understand, able to use that network of Geo. So discontinuing operation I was talking. Beta, the discontinuing operation example is good. Okay. So if Vishal Mega Mart, which is your company, we know it very well. Vishal Mega Mart is a company having stores in all over the India, have various sections, have various segments. That is a product segment. We have already discussed regarding segment reporting. We know that there are geographical segment. We know that there are business segments that is based on product. So if we have segments with us and we are going to switch off one segment, then that particular segment will be reported properly. So that is called discontinuing reporting in discontinuing operation. What is to be disclosed? The objective is to be very much clear. He says the objective is to establish principles for reporting information. Just information. Ability of users of financial statement to make projection. So they can make projections better. So discontinuing operation is a component that an enterprise to a single plan is disposing of अपना पूरे का पूरा जो पर्टिकुलर बिजनेस का एक पार्ट है जिसकी हम बात कर रहे हैं शूज डिपार्टमेंट, वो सारा शूज डिपार्टमेंट ही अपना मर्ज कर रहे हैं, किसी और को डीमर्जर कर रहे हैं, मर्जर कर रहे हैं, सेल कर रहे हैं, स्पिन ऑफ कर रहे हैं, मतलब उसकी ओनरशिप किसी और को दे रहे हैं, या एसेट्स उसके जो सेल कर रहे हैं अलग से लाइबिलिटीज को पे ऑफ कर रहे हैं. डिस्पोजिंग ऑफ पीस मिल मतलब एसेट्स को अलग से सेल कर रहे हैं, लाइबिलिटीज को पे कर रहे हैं. टर्मिनेटिंग थ्रू अबंडनमेंट, उसको एक बार उन्होंने अलग रख करके रख दिया कि हमने तो काम ही नहीं करना, छोड़ दिया बस. अभी मैंने सेल नहीं किया, कुछ नहीं किया, पर मैंने अलग करके बंद करके रख दिया, उस डिपार्टमेंट को लोग लगा दिया. टर्मिनेटिंग थ्रू अबंडन कर दिया उसको, मतलब उसको छोड़ दिया, बंद करके रख दिया, लॉक कर दिया कि इसको हमने सेल नहीं करना. लोग आते हैं कहते हैं शूज लेने, हम कहते हैं हम शूज बेचते ही नहीं है. ऊपर शूज डिपार्टमेंट है, वहां शूज पड़े हैं बट हम सेल नहीं कर रहे, उसको लोग लगा दिया. बट the major thing is it should be a separate major line of business or geographical area of operation, but we have discussed in segment reporting. ये मेजर होना चाहिए हमारा. ये नहीं कि हमने जी ऐसा किया है कि हम लोगों ने मान लो रेडीमेड गारमेंट्स भी है हमारे पास, शूज भी है, तो शूज में हमने क्या किया कि हमने ये 500 सेट शूज के निकाल के रख दिए कि ये नहीं बेचने, हमने 500 सेट शूज के निकाल दिए कि नहीं बेचने, या उसमें बाटा कंपनी के शूज हमने नहीं बेचे. शूज तो बेच रहे हैं पर बाटा कंपनी के शूज नहीं बेचने, हमने नाइकी के शूज नहीं सेल करने, तो वो नहीं हो सकता. उसको हम लोग नहीं मानेंगे कि ये सेपरेट, हमने एक बिजनेस सेगमेंट को बंद कर दिया. शूज बेच रहे हैं, शूज बेचने में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं हमें. मीन्स इट शुड बी वेरी मच क्लियर. सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट यही है कि आपने ध्यान से देखना है कि बिजनेस सच में बंद हो रहा है, वो वाला पार्ट बिजनेस का. या हम लोगों ने ये सोचा कि हम लोग नॉर्थ इंडिया में काम नहीं करेंगे, वी आर इंटरेस्टेड टू स्विच ऑफ अवर बिजनेस इन पंजाब स्टेट, इन महाराष्ट्र, मीन्स वन पर्टिकुलर स्टेट, वन पर्टिकुलर रीजन, वन पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट. ये नहीं कि हम लोगों ने जी ऐसा करना है कि हम लोगों ने पंजाब में तो सेल करनी है बट पंजाब में हम लोग लुधियाना में सेल नहीं करेंगे. छोटा सा पार्ट हमने एक आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया. या विलेजेस में नहीं जाएंगे, शहरों में जाएंगे अकेला. तो मतलब क्लियर होना चाहिए. इट कुड बी डिस्टिंग्विश्ड ऑपरेशनली एंड फॉर फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग पर्पस. बट इट मीन्स फॉर कि उसको हम लोग डिस्टिंग्विश कर पाए. ऑपरेशन भी उसका अलग से हमें है, उसका ऑपरेशन ही नहीं अलग से, वो काम ही नहीं हम करते, मतलब वो मिक्स्ड है हमारे बाकी काम के साथ. फिर हम लोग नहीं मानेंगे कि हमने उसको अलग कर दिया. अलग तभी मानेंगे अगर वो काम जो है वो हमारा डिस्टिंग्विश हो सकता है, वो हमारा अलग हो सकता है. वो डिस्टिंग्विश है किससे? दूसरे बिजनेस से. जो मिक्स्ड है, आपस में मिक्स्ड है काम, उसको नहीं कर सकते हम लोग. इट शुड बी पॉसिबल टू बी ऑपरेशनली और फाइनेंशियली डिस्टिंग्विशेबल. बड़े ध्यान से करने वाला काम है ये. इसके लिए व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डू, वी आर गेटिंग हेल्प ऑफ segment reporting chapter. We are talking about that whatever we are, if we are recognizing it as a segment in segment reporting, yes, then we can say that This is a point which is to be kept into mind. If these are to be closed, then it is to be shown separately. See, here it is. It is given in brief here. I was discussing in detail because I think that was more important for that. Just read it once. Be assumed as an important point in this case, specifically mentioned that it will be assumed as distinguished operationally and financially if उसके जो assets हैं और liabilities हैं उनको हम अलग से recognize कर सकते हैं. If we can identify its assets and liabilities, or if we can identify its revenue, or we can identify the expenses which are going to be allocated on it. Three things I have discussed. If its assets and liabilities on the basis of which it is worked, that particular department or that particular operation, that particular working, it have separate assets and liabilities for its operations. It have, there is a chance that its revenue can be recognized separately. If its revenue cannot be recognized separately, obviously it is not a separate department. If its maximum expenses, operating expenses, can be directly attributable to it, only then. So three things are there. If thrice of these three things, तीनों अगर conditions पूरी होती हैं, only then it will be assumed as a separate segment. Only then it will be assumed as a department to be shown separately. तभी हम उसको अलग से show करेंगे बेटा. Is that clear? Till now everything is clear? Just tell me. Let's take an example. Airtel is going to switch off its internet part, its broadband services, sorry, its broadband services. Just assume there is an information. I'm just, it's an example. If Airtel is going to switch off its broadband services, now it's a separate business for them. But in this case, one thing is very much important, that its assets and liabilities can be separately identifiable. Its revenue is separately identifiable. Third is its expenses, operating expenses I'm talking about, not administrative, only operating expenses are separately identifiable. Then obviously this is possible in case of broadband services. So here broadband services will be assumed, if it is going to be switched off, it will be assumed as a qualified. I will assume that it will qualify the definition of discontinuing operation, because first of all, it must qualify the definition of discontinuing operation, only then we can work on it. Give some examples of discontinuing operations fast. Send me some examples, beta. फटाफट भेजो. Spices business of Reliance, right example. It's a separate business, exactly. Shopkeeper stopped sale of pencil is not a right example. Sale of pencils is not a right example. Punjab National Bank stopped tax, no, E&Y stopped tax consultancy services. Yeah, this is a right example. What Punjab National Bank has done? Simple Punjab National Bank is not an example. So what we have to do in this case? That is the next part of this AS. First of all, we are very much clear what meant for the discontinued operation, how it is to be recognized that which department is to be discontinued, which is to be shown, which is to be covered under this AS24, because that is the most important part. Hindustan Company Limited stopping product of Ambassador car. Exactly, this is a part of discontinued operation. It will qualify the definition. A text in PY itself, so it should be disclosed tax expected in the balance sheet in that year. Okay. Asset, liability, revenue, and expenses are directly attributed to a company. If it would be that it would be eliminated when the component is sold. So the definition is clearing itself. When we will assume that the asset, liability, revenue, and expenses are directly attributable, when if this operation will be discontinued, obviously, in that case, that expense will be stopped. That asset liabilities will not be of our use. That revenue could not be our use. So in that case, it will be assumed as so what is the disclosure requirement? Let's understand this. This you have to read initial disclosure requirement, starting disclosure requirement. If we are going to discontinue any operation with respect to a discontinue, first of all, you have to give the detail of the event. Due to which we are going to discontinue that operation. The initial disclosure event is the occurrence of one of the event, whichever occurs earlier. Which one? First of all, he says, कब हमने disclosure देना? When we have to disclose? When we enters into an agreement with binding sale agreement with someone for sale of our assets, for substantially all of the assets. If we have entered into an agreement with someone else for sale of all of our assets of a particular operation, then it is to be disclosed. Or second thing, enterprise board of directors or similar governing body has approved detailed formal plan of discontinuing of our operation. एक तो है कि हम लोगों ने एक प्लान बनाया, पूरा प्लान बना के हमारी डायरेक्टर्स ने पास कर दिया और उसकी अनाउंसमेंट भी कर दी. मेक एन अनाउंसमेंट ऑफ द प्लान का अनाउंसमेंट भी कर दिया. तो फिर तो हम लोग क्या करेंगे कि हम लोग ये मान लेंगे कि हाँ जी भी ये तो अब स्विच ऑफ होने जा रहा है, या फिर हम किसी बाइंडिंग एग्रीमेंट में किसी के साथ हमने एग्रीमेंट कर लिया कि हम अपने सारे एसेट सेल कर रहे हैं जो ऑपरेशन से रिलेटेड है. विच एवर कम्स अर्लियर, इन दोनों में से जो काम पहले होगा, तो जब ये पहले काम होगा तब हमें डिस्क्लोजर देना है. थ्योरी है, ये प्रैक्टिकल नहीं है इस केस में. बिकॉज देखो ना, ये लिखा हुआ दिस एएस डजंट प्रोवाइड एनी गाइडलाइंस फॉर रिकॉग्निशन एंड मेजरिंग. ये एएस डील नहीं करता इसकी अमाउंट के बारे में, रिकॉग्नाइज करने के बारे में. डिसकंटिन्यू के ऑपरेशन के इफेक्ट्स क्या होंगे उसके बारे में डील नहीं करता, बिकॉज वो सब कुछ हम रिस्पेक्टिव एएस में स्टडी करते हैं जो उससे रिलेटेड एएस है. जैसे हम एसेट सेल कर रहे हैं उससे क्या इफेक्ट होगा वो एएस 10 में जाके स्टडी करेंगे. मर्जर कर रहे हैं उससे क्या इफेक्ट होगा वो एएस 14 में स्टडी करेंगे. अगर हम सेगमेंट को अपने सेल कर रहे हैं उससे क्या इफेक्ट होगा वो सेगमेंट रिपोर्टिंग में स्टडी करेंगे. अगर हम अपना स्टॉक बेच रहे हैं सारे का सारा तो वो एएस 2 में स्टडी करेंगे. उसकी अमाउंट के बारे में बातें नहीं कर रहे हैं, उसकी डिस्क्लोजर के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं कि उसका डिस्क्लोजर देना भी जरूरी है. बिकॉज वो एएस इस चीज की बात ही नहीं करते कि अगर आप अपना ऑपरेशन बंद कर रहे हो किसी पर्टिकुलर बिजनेस का तो उसका भी कोई डिस्क्लोजर देना चाहिए. तो इससे क्या होता है कि हमारे जो यूजर्स ऑफ फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स हैं उनको प्रॉपर इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं मिलती. अवर यूजर्स आर अनेबल टू अंडरस्टैंड that this operation is going to be closed. Because if we are saying that we are selling our this asset, we are selling our this asset, so that is a part of our routine working. This is not to be this is not shown as a separate process. If it is going to switch off a big part of the business, then it must be shown separately. So this AS tells us to show it separately. When it is to be shown, when we have entered into an agreement or directors have decided to switch it off, whichever comes earlier, beta. But amount is not a part of discussion here. Tata Nano stopped production is the right example of Tata Nano stopped the production of it. Nano is the right example of this particular discontinuing operation. Mitesh Bhai Patel, very good. Dena and Vijaya Bank are merged in Bank of Baroda, so it's a discontinuing operation. No, it's the complete merger. So Dena Bank, if Dena Bank is a part of an organization and that organization is going to, instead of it, we can take an example. If Dena Bank or any bank closed its credit card issue department, that they are not going to work on credit card now. They are not going to issue credit cards now. So that is a part. If a banker, if a banking company is also doing insurance business, they are going to switch off the insurance business. That is a right example. Okay. So what is to be disclosed? What is to be disclosed? When it is to be disclosed, that we have discussed. So what is to be disclosed? A description of the discontinuing operation. That is the amount of net cash flows attributable to operating, investing and financing activities of the discontinuing operation during the current financial reporting period. इस साल के रिपोर्टिंग पीरियड में हमारी जो कैश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट है उसमें जो ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटीज, इन्वेस्टिंग एक्टिविटीज और फाइनेंसिंग एक्टिविटीज की अमाउंट है वो आपने डिस्क्लोज करनी है. डिस्क्लोजर देना है, कुछ नहीं करना हो. Financial statements beginning with the financial statement for the period in which the initial disclosure event occurred. Then the business or geographical segment in which it is reported. Then we have to tell that this is reported in this geographical segment or this is reported in this business segment. The amount of pre-tax profit, that is profit before tax, from ordinary activities attributable to the discontinuing operation during the current financial reporting is whatever the profit before tax, whatever the income tax expenses entered in the books of accounts this year, that is to be shown. इतना भैया हमारा इसमें प्रॉफिट बिफोर टैक्स है इस पर्टिकुलर बिजनेस का, इस पर्टिकुलर ज्योग्राफिकल सेगमेंट का जिसमें ये रिपोर्ट किया गया था, उसकी डिटेल देनी है आप लोगों ने. द डेट एंड द नेचर ऑफ डिस्क्लोजर means the amount of the revenue and expenses in respect of an ordinary activity. जितने उसकी टोटल रेवेन्यू है, जितना उसके टोटल एक्सपेंसेस है उस पर्टिकुलर ऑपरेशन के, इस ईयर के, करंट ईयर की बात कर रहे हैं, तो वो सारा कुछ आपने शो कर देना. पिछला नहीं, पुराना नहीं लेना. इस करंट ईयर में उसके जो कैश फ्लोज हैं, ऑपरेटिंग, इन्वेस्टिंग और फाइनेंसिंग, वो शो करने हैं. इस करंट ईयर में उसका प्रॉफिट बिफोर टैक्स कितना है, शो करना है. इस करंट ईयर में उसका टैक्स कितना है, उस पर टैक्स कितना कैलकुलेट करके बनता है, निकाल लो, शो कर देना है. उसका इस करंट ईयर का रेवेन्यू कितना है, सेल वगैरह, इनकम वगैरह कितनी है, उसके ऑपरेटिंग एक्सपेंसेस कितने हैं जो ऑर्डिनरी एक्टिविटीज वाले हैं, वो शो करने हैं. और देन द कैरिंग अमाउंट एंड द बैलेंस शीट डेट ऑफ द टोटल एसेट्स. एक तो हमने डेट शो कर दी, डेट एंड द नेचर ऑफ द इवेंट डिस्क्लोजर, इनिशियल डिस्क्लोजर इवेंट. एक तो उसकी डेट वगैरह शो कर दी कि डेट क्या है, किस डेट को हम लोग उसको कर रहे हैं, उसका नेचर क्या रहेगा, द डेट और द पीरियड इन विच द डिस्कंटिन्यूइंग, और कब तक कंप्लीट हो जाएगा वो बता देना. कैरिंग अमाउंट कितनी है उसकी, बैलेंस शीट में हमारी टोटल एसेट्स की अमाउंट कितनी है और कितने पैसे हम टोटल एसेट टू बी डिस्पोज्ड ऑफ. जो भी एसेट्स हमने इस साल बेचे हैं उसके, उनकी कैरिंग अमाउंट कितनी है, कितने पैसे उनका, टोटल एसेट्स की वैल्यू क्या थी और कितने पे सेल किया, टोटल लायबिलिटीज कितनी थी और कितनी पेमेंट करी. पहले तो कैरिंग अमाउंट बता दो. ठीक है ना, कि कितनी कितनी कैरिंग अमाउंट है उसकी, बुक्स में क्या वैल्यू थी जिनको हमने इस साल सेल कर दिया उसमें से। देन अगर if you have entered into a merger agreement, then whatever profit or loss we have suffered, for any gain or loss that is recognized on the disposal of assets or settlement of liabilities, that is to be shown pre-tax gain or loss and the income tax. Why this is all same whatever we have done in the previous in our above calculation: cash flow, operating, investing, and uh, financing activities, net selling price or range or prices of those net assets for which the enterprise entered into one or more binding agreements. That's it. So these are the disclosures which are to be made in this case. Then it will continue. It will not going to be switched off. Ki, "Anji, you have to show it in the current year only." No, no. It will be shown till it is the complete operation is not complete process is not completed. Through full payment from the buyer may not have been received if an enterprise. So it will continue. It will continue to be shown for the period up to and including the period in which the discontinuing is completed. So if it is not, it will continue. The process is going to for 2 or 3 years. Then we have to show it in the financial statement of 2 years or 3 years regularly. If we have abandoned it or withdrawn from a plan that was previously reported as discontinued later on, if there is any change in the plan, then it will also be shown, because earlier we have shown it as a discontinued. Later on, like we have abandoned it, we have closed that department. Later on, we have restarted work. So that is also to be disclosed. Every discontinued, if there are more than one discontinued operation, that is of two types of different, like shoes department is also closed, men's department is also closed, men's ready-made department is also closed, then both are to be shown separately, not to be merged with each other. And these disclosures are to be given in notes to accounts, should be presented in the notes to the financial statement, except these disclosure which should be shown on the face of the statement of profit loss account. The amount of pre-tax profit or loss from ordinary activities that we have already discussed, any profit or gain on the sale or the disposal of our assets or payment of our liabilities. So whatever it is, that is to be shown properly. Remaining is normal. Yes. So I think the complete AS is purely clear. Having any doubt, just tell me. Anything if it is not clear, just disclosure is there, nothing else is there. In this AS, no other details are there, no other workings are there that we have already discussed. So due to that reason, no illustration is also given. I've checked it is if there is any illustration so that we can do it, but there's no illustration given to us. Now all things are technology driven. So in banks, the check clearing house is not needed. So is part of becoming discontinuing of department. Exactly. Yes, we will read it from modules. Very good. Okay. So we'll discuss all the yes doubts if there is any in the next years. Better you may have to study it properly and go for some extra question. Okay then. So close the session. So close the session, ji. Ashok ji, close the session.